Thank you so much. That was actually my first time seeing that, so feeling a little emotional right now. My name is Tash. I'm a wife of 16 years, a mother of 3 gorgeous little girls, a content creator, a teacher, a speaker, a photographer, and a former foster care youth. The day I was born to my developmentally delayed mother, I was placed in out-of-home care, and I would remain there for 18 years until the day I graduated high school and went off to college. Growing up away from my birth family was challenging, but being a second-generation orphan presented major issues around identity. Not only did I struggle with being separated from my family, I carried the scars of my mother's childhood abandonment wounds too. I remember being as young as 5, and I would spend hours combing through large photo albums under my foster mother's coffee table. There were no images of me in those big books, but I loved imagining the stories behind those weathered pictures. Who were the people? What was happening? What were they feeling? I guess in many ways, I have always been a storyteller. The stories I made up in my head held me until I could learn to create ones of my own to fall into. Growing up, holidays were always very hard for me. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. And when you have no place to land, there's no responsibility attached to you either. My birthdays were never mattered, and big holidays like Easter and Christmas, I always felt overlooked. I never longed for anything because I knew I would never get it. So I learned to be content with what I had. When I was 12 years old, my caseworker came to my house and she told my foster mom about Treehouse and their holiday magic program. She asked me what my wish for Christmas would be. And I had always wanted pictures of myself so that I could remember what my life was like, much like those albums underneath the coffee table. So I asked for a camera. That was the Christmas that would change my life forever. I recently got a chance to sit down and connect with Maya, another foster youth, to hear about her story and reflect on our past experiences as kids in foster care. And what I loved most about our conversation is that although our journeys have been vastly different, we could both empathize and see various themes that have run the course of both of our lives. The longing for love, acceptance, community, and purpose, and the way that we found solutions to those aches in our heart through our connection with Treehouse. My answer came through a gift that I wished for, while Maya's answer came through more wraparound services, but the impact has been monumental and stuck with us over the years. That gift of that little Advantix film camera represented identity for me. It was a tool I could use to prove my existence in the world. I took pictures of everything. Y'all, I took pictures of everything, okay? Everywhere I went, that camera was with me. And when I pulled it out, I thought about those present moments, but I also thought about that little 5-year-old girl turning through those albums. And I wanted to give my future family something to hold on to. The camera not only helped me to preserve my memories, but it also helped me to hope for a future. It was the first of many ways that I could see my story woven in the story of others, and it gave me a voice to share a story to hold on to, my very own. Supporting youth in foster care is crucial for all of the reasons that we've seen on the screen, all of the facts, all of the outcomes that we want to see. But I think supporting young people in care is imperative so that this story of rejection and abandonment isn't the only one that's told. Kids in care deserve to exist in a story that doesn't always center their foster care experience, but showcases a story of commitment and love and identity and hope for a future. Kids in foster care have few choices, but they need to be empowered to choose the story of their life and the kind of life that they want to write, to take those quiet wishes in the core of their being and turn them into the dreams that they never thought were possible. With a decade in this motherhood game, I can see that the concept of the village is integral in the rearing and raising of our children. And there would be no way that the responsibility of caring for my kids would fall or ever be fulfilled by just me and their father. It requires so many of us to partner together to guarantee that my little babies have a hope for the future and a net to safely fall into when they fail. My children, they aren't any more deserving of this. than any other children in the world. And it's our job as adults to stand in the gap and to come along as many children as we can as they walk towards adulthood. Some of the ways that I'm choosing to do this is by mentoring young people, creating opportunities for underserved and underheard voices to sit at tables where decision-making is happening, and by supporting youth in foster care by donating to Treehouse. If I had a moment to speak to little Tasha, who actually walked on this stage with me today, the girl who felt so overlooked and so small and so unseen, so forgotten, I would let her know just how seen she is, how important her story is, and how big she needed to show up. I would tell her that wishing was okay, to use those wishes to motivate her towards her big dreams in her heart, and I would let her know that one day her story would make way for the stories of others and would change people's lives. I would let her know that she would take that little camera that she received at 12 years old and she'd build a 15-year career and a life that she could only dream of on her terms. And I would let her know that being in foster care would be the least interesting thing about her. Thank you.